Hey everybody, it's Jake with the Roaming Homesteaders. I just wanted to check in with you. It's been almost 2 weeks since we posted our last video. I didn't want everyone to think that we had disappeared from the face of the earth or forgotten that we're trying to become YouTubers, but we've just been very, very busy. I don't want to say too busy to post things because we put a couple of shorts up, but we have been very busy. We have a trip coming up here in October that we've been getting ready for, and we've also been trying to navigate some of the changing seasonal things with the garden and some of the projects that we have here at home. And it's just been a very busy time. We've got some work that's coming up this weekend to put in a huge 4,000 square foot garden up at my parents' place in the mountains nearby. We've got a trip up north coming up. We've got big projects around the house, and then of course I have to get the garden, getting our own garden in for the winter, but we're trying to schedule that. It's just been very, very hectic. So I'm gonna give you a quick update on everything that's going on and just kind of show you around, and you get a feel for what's new, what's going on in the garden, what's going on in the house, and out and about. You could probably tell I'm starting the fall beard here, a little grayer than I thought it would be this year after only 1 year. Every year I grow a beard in the fall, and usually by Christmas it's come back off, but you can obviously see that. It's been so long since I've been on. A couple of weeks now I have a beard. So anyway, let's show you around the homestead and show you what the projects are doing, and you can get a feel for where we're at, where we're going, and some of the videos to look forward to in the coming weeks and months. So here's our trees. These are apple and pear trees that we've grafted and grown for the last 2 years. They are doing well. We started getting some decent rain in the last week or so, and they've really greened up, and those are going to be ready to go into the new garden up at my parents' place. Next, of course, we've got the garden. I think a couple of our shorts and some of the other films you saw us tearing out the beans and the cucumbers and the whatnot. We went ahead and we planted some more squashes to see if we could get a double season out here. You can see that these squashes here are doing well. This is blue Haradale. They're already flowering, which is a good sign. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to get them to fruit here, but you know, we'll see how that goes. We've still got the tomato wall up. I went ahead and trimmed out some things and just sort of cleaned up a bit to see if we could get any more tomatoes. And there's a couple here on the vine. Not really that many, but we'll probably end up tearing this out at some point. And then over here is our new hybrid variety called Blue Monster. I don't know if we're going to be able to get any fruit off these this late in the season, but I'm trying to grow them, and clearly the seeds were viable. Very interesting looking. The leaves are a little bit different. This shape is almost like elephant ears, or just sort of a heart shape. Just sort of a different shape than you get from these other squashes over here, which are a little more ragged on the edges. So we'll see what happens with these. And then of course our pepper patch, we went ahead and harvested those off. We still have a few cucumbers lingering in the background, but you can see we're getting a few more peppers just from the patch again. So I think that'll be nice. We'll get a few more bell peppers and things off the peppers before the end of the year. And then we have a few more cherry type tomatoes over there. I think those are black strawberries that are growing. They're called black strawberries, and it's still fruiting very well. I mean, if you can see here, this plant has some great little fruits on it. So, and then surprisingly, over here, our okra. This is a red variety. I forget the type. We got it from Baker Creek. It's a red variety. Didn't grow very tall, but I decided to leave whatever else grew for seed. So we're growing these off for seed, and you can see they're just covered with okra pods. So these are gonna start drying out pretty quickly, and then we're gonna have tons of seed for this variety. And because we only grew this variety this year, these are gonna be pure seeds. So we're excited to build that up and get a new heirloom variety into our seed bank so that we don't have to buy those in the future. I don't know that I would grow these for production. They're unique. I like the look, but we'll have to see what happens there. So that's about it for the garden out here. I'll give you a tour over here what we got against the wall. These are some more trees that we grafted. I'm probably gonna have a series of videos in the future just kind of showing you what we've done. This one here on the left is an Afghan peach. There was a soldier friend of ours who brought peach pits back from Afghanistan years ago and grew some trees, and so we started those just from seed. And then of course these taller ones are apple trees that we grafted. More apple trees and some more peach trees, Afghan peach trees. And oh, looks like the baby came out to say hi. Hi, baby. You having fun? Wave at the camera. You say hi? No, grumpy. Okay, say bye-bye. Bye. Coming over here, our potted strawberries.
Daddy.
It's dinner time? Okay, I'll be right in. Go tell mommy I'll be right in. These tomatoes over here that are dead, that was a failed experiment in potted things. You just can't do that here. The sunlight overheats the pots and fries the roots. So vegetable gardening in pots doesn't work well for us. But the citrus trees are doing great. They've really greened up from the rain. And then over here we have the fig tree. And the fig tree is just doing amazingly well. This is a Tacoma Violet fig tree. Oh, looks like we have a fig. I'm gonna pop that sucker off. Look at that. Oh, that's gonna be amazing. We'll eat that inside here in a bit. Yeah, so that's about it for the garden. Here's the harvest from the Fiorani red Flint corn. We've had this drying out in the frame. We always dry these off and let them cure before we end up stripping them off the cobs and storing it. But you can see, you know, it's a modest harvest. I don't want to say it was an amazing harvest this year. We planted sort of a patchy grouping of corn, and it grew okay. You know, we're going to be shelling this up pretty quickly, but you can see that that's nice and dry. And we're excited to try making some polenta out of this. So that's where the corn stands right now. You can always tell that fall is upon us when the mums show up. So I think we picked this up at Lowe's the other day for a few bucks, but we've got the yellow mums, and we're gonna have a good front porch display here shortly with our pumpkins. Hey honey.
Hi.
What you doing?
Putting away groceries.
Putting away groceries. What do we got?
Well, we have a lot of pumpkin here.
Pumpkin?
Yeah.
Where'd that pumpkin come from?
Our garden.
Our garden? You mean if you grow things, you have to freeze them and put them away?
Yes.
Ah. What else are you doing?
Just trying to rearrange things so they fit in here a bit better.
Okay. Anything else going on here in the garage?
Yeah.
No progress on the tea towels yet. It's been too hot to work in the garage, so I haven't gotten around to that. Don't we need to get into some of these tubs this afternoon?
Yes, we do.
All right. So what else is the plan for today?
Homeschooling catch up. Hopefully get into some of those totes. Switch, organize, change of seasons for the kids' clothing, and figure out what we need for next. Like what else we need to get. Figure out what we have to buy, what we have in a tote here somewhere.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll leave you to it. Have fun.
Okay.
The chicken coop is still here. I haven't done much to it since we did our chicken coop video. We still have a few things to do. You look up in the eaves, you can see we still have the wiring to put up here to keep critters out from the eaves, just like the windows. You know, but otherwise, you know, that's sort of a wintertime project. We also still have to put in the chicken door, which is going to be one of those automatic doors right over here. And then of course I have to clean out. We've been using the coop for sort of emergency food storage, so we got to clean out all these bags and store up the beans and rice and flour and wheat and all that. And moving on over, we have the second tea towel project. I haven't worked on this much in weeks. I've been kind of burned out on weaving, but you know, I think another few days and another few days of concerted efforts, I'd be able to finish up these tea towels, and those will be able to join the red and white ones that we already did. And then we're gonna start on a new project over there. And then moving on over, we've been working on the van. The van needed some attention. You know, we've got this Toyota Sienna, and it was, I don't want to say it was in bad shape, but it needed some attention. The headlights were all yellowed. We got those cleaned up. We got the new hubcaps because the other ones were falling off and not working. Got brand new tires, and replaced this grommet here. You wouldn't believe what a pain in the butt this is to get, just to keep water out of your frame. And you know, a few other things, miscellaneous things. Just little projects. It's always the things that catch up to you. Like these vent screens need to be re-glued down. That's a project that I have to finish. It's just one of those things, you know. Life gets in the way, and you're delayed. Here's some of our homemade YouTube lighting that we've got. You know, we've got this pile here is actually the ham radio station that I pulled out of my parents' house while they're remodeling, so that's got to go back. This is a loom that I was gifted from some acquaintances of ours. I have to clean up the seed starting rack so we can get that ready for the new year. I got to refill our UAN 32 over here. This is a nitrogen fertilizer for the garden, and there's our nice chicken coop. Yeah, so that's kind of what the garage looks like right now. Heading back into the house, you know, you can see all the little projects. You know, what good homesteader wouldn't have projects in every corner of the house? So, you know, this is our snack bag for the trip up north, and then of course we just picked these up at Costco. These are some pretty tulips, some frilly tulips, and then these are the daffodils. So, you know, we're excited to get those planted in the new garden up at my parents' house. But those sort of things they're starting to pile up, and getting everything ready for the projects as they come down the pipe. Of course, with 5 kids around, toys are inevitably everywhere. So I can see they've been playing with their toy sets, the Playmobil, Lego combo things. They've got those piled up in the room. And of course I got my pile here. You know, we've got, I think this is wheat from Anarchy Acres, some batteries for our camera that have to go back to Amazon, some sewing books, some other books, something else. There's the seed vault lurking in the office here. And then of course our Wonder Mill grain mill. And then this is my library of winter reading. We got a few of these books lined up, and some things I got to take care of. Yeah, that's our editing station here, so trying to take care of that. And then of course here's our sewing nook. Projects abound there. There's some more YouTube lighting lurking. I think that's the plans for some more sewing, along with many other things. This is our scarf section. These are some of the scarves that I've woven in the last 6 or 8 months. We're going to be getting some more going for the fall, and pile of crochet and a lot of stuff going on. So this is sort of your behind the scenes thing. So you caught us on a laundry day. We have to clean up a bit and get everything organized, but we're actually in the process of doing that right now. And of course, like any good family, those are all the pictures we haven't put up on the wall since we moved. Moving on into the kitchen, we have some of the canning that we've been doing in the last few weeks. We got to get all this stuff put away. I think these are some of the empty cans, and then we've got some of the peppers and other things that we've been canning. These are roasted peppers, roasted red peppers. I see some canned onions, some spaghetti sauce, more peppers, different projects. There's some pumpkin pie spice coffee syrup lurking there. And then of course we've got our mock mill over here. And yeah, I think the big project in here is we're gonna be doing a lot of pressure canning for chicken and meat soon. And then I have to get all these things that we've been processing put away. This is sort of my little corner of shame. This is what are these? These are the cucumber seeds that I've been drying off. This is gonna be great. These are Market More 76 cucumber seeds. And I think we have some spicy peppers and some bell peppers and some pumpkin seeds. I've got a lot of things over in this corner that I have to arrange and get ready to put away. And of course, this is our seed cabinet. We have canning things and seeds. So I'm gonna be drying those off and finally storing those. We have this closet by our front door and our kitchen. We're actually gonna be turning this into more pantry space. So right now we just have holiday decorations and there's a bag of sugar and some vinegar in there. We have a few things that we're gonna be pulling out of here. Obviously the Christmas wreath and things are gonna go up at the right time, but we're gonna clean out this closet here. We're actually gonna put in more pantry shelving. So this is gonna become more pantry shelving, and a lot of that a lot of those canned goods and bulk goods are gonna go into this closet on some industrial racks that we're gonna put in here shortly so that we can get everything out from our counters and just straighten up. Just to give you a preview of some of the other things we're gonna be doing in the coming weeks and months, I just wanted to go over a bit of that with you. Wendy and I have been thinking a lot about the direction of the channel, things that we want to show you. Wendy's been really busy in the last 6 weeks or so with the kids starting up school again and getting ready for the winter season and the rains that usually start here in October. I think we started a little bit early this year, which is great because we're suffering from a big drought here in Northern California, but it just means you got to do a lot of stuff before the rains come, and they're kind of sneaked up on us this year. So a lot of outdoor projects that we're trying to wrap up before we can't really work in the yard very much. And then we're going to be shifting to indoor activities. So we've got the winter activities starting a bit early here this year, even though it's still warm out and we're able to do stuff in between rain. The further in the year we go, the more difficult that's going to be. So we're trying to front load all of that work, which is why I'm going to be doing some of the gardening work up at my parents' house in our backyard here. And then as you can see around the house, we have lots of wintertime projects to do inside where it's nice and dry and warm. So we're just heading into that season. I know a lot of people are getting ready with their projects. We've already started some things for our winter garden that we're hoping to get in before the rains come. And we don't have any porch projects like we did last couple of years, building chicken coops and things. I've decided to kind of hold off on that until we get settled into a more permanent housing situation, especially with the chicken coop, the one in the garage being the sort of last one that we have. I don't want to load up on things that we're going to have to move if we are able to buy a place shortly. So that's sort of it for the outside projects, is finishing up the seeds that we already have going, getting the winter garden started so we can start harvesting things like cabbages and whatnot into the new year, and then focusing on indoor projects. Once we do that, I think we've got some exciting things coming up that I think you'll like to see. We've had some good response on our gardening videos, not such a great response on some of the other projects. I know the sewing videos have had sort of a limited appeal for the homestead. There's some small groups that we've been talking with in our Facebook groups about sewing and sort of homesteading skills like that, domestic homesteading skills like that. And there is an interest, but we have some more exciting things, shall we say, coming up. For instance, we're going to be clearing off the counter spaces once we get all the canned foods and the stored foods back into the closet on the new rack shelves. We're going to be bringing out our chocolate making equipment again. So that's something to look forward to. We've sort of put that on the shelf since the pandemic started because it was hard to get some of the chocolate beans that we used to roast. And now that that's sort of picked up again, we're looking to get back into it. But I'm actually going to be building some of the equipment that I had designed when we lived in North Carolina, but had never finished, like the vibration table for making bars, the nibs sorting situation. Is when you crack the beans, you have to get the shells off and just leave the nibs. We'll explain all that process in those videos, but we have that extractor to make. We were talking about getting a larger roaster so we wouldn't have to do these 3-pound batches at a time. So it just depends on how far we're going to go with that, but we're going to have a series of videos on chocolate making that'll be really exciting to see. I think there'll be a lot of interest in that. I'm also continuing sewing some projects in the Edwardian fashion sort of group. There's some jackets and I think some other vests and some pants that I'm probably going to do some videos on at some point. We've got some homeschooling things coming down the pike, and of course our trip. That's sort of the big news. We're going to be taking a trip up to Idaho in the next few months, and I think that's going to be exciting. That'll be a sort of a multi-part video series on our trip up to Idaho and some of the things that we're thinking about Idaho lately. I did go on a trip back to Tennessee. I think I showed one of those videos earlier. That was an interesting weekend trip. Saw some friends, met with some folks out there that are business acquaintances, and I don't think we processed all that video yet, but just trying to show some of our adventures a little more. We're going to be taking a lot more time as a family this winter, and this fall trip will be a good start to that, and just showing you our adventures in the beautiful places that we love in North Idaho, and just sort of reflect on that. And then of course, we've got some more pumpkin stuff coming up. We'll see how this experiment goes in the garden, if we're able to squeeze in another pumpkin crop before Thanksgiving. And I'm hoping you'll all come along for that trip. So thanks for watching this update. I'm sorry it's taken a couple of weeks to get back online with all the things we have going on, but just keep an eye out for those videos in the next few weeks and months, probably starting with the garden installation up at my parents' house and some of the homeschooling videos from Wendy. She's hoping to jump back in again. We appreciate some of the comments that we've received from everyone asking where's Wendy been recently. She's just been really slammed, so we're hoping to show some of her videos soon and to start getting into some of these interesting side projects that we have, especially chocolate making. So we hope you'll continue watching, that you'll consider subscribing and liking our channel so that when we do release new videos, you'll be notified. And of course, we're going to be putting out little shorts here and there with the new video formatting with YouTube, just showing you little clips and snippets of what we're doing on a daily basis. It's difficult to get full-length videos edited and submitted on a timely basis when you're working full-time and you got 5 kids running around, or you're doing homeschooling and you're trying to can and do all the gardening. It gets really hectic. I'm sure you can all relate to that with your own projects and homesteads, and we just didn't want you thinking we've forgotten anything. We're still here, we're working hard, and we hope to bring you some of these new and exciting things to watch in the weeks and months to come. So, as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you soon. Bye.